question that I'm pretty sure none of you were asking. What would happen if you had a Formula One car and a NASCAR and they had a baby? Well, you'd end up with this 900 horsepower monster that has active aero and the engine, well, hanging off the side of it. It's called a super modified, and it's what happens here in America when you take a bunch of oval racers and tell them, yeah, you have no rules. It's got to have 4 wheels, it's got to have a roll cage. Anything else, use your imagination. See, our story begins in Oswego, New York at the, well, Oswego Speedway. Organizers there in 1961, along with the track's ownership, wanted to show off the newly lengthened and paved racetrack. And while stuff like the local modified scene and all of that was great, they wanted to attract a truly national field filled with the best drivers they could. So not only was the purse one of the highest in any motorsport held that year, it also, well, didn't exactly have that big of a rule book. They're gonna do 200 laps and let the best man win. They called this new class of car the Super Modified division, and it quickly caught on. Now, in the early days of the Super Modified class, guys showed up with pretty much anything you could possibly dream of in the 60s. However, it quickly dawned on a lot of guys that a modified Indy Roadster was going to be the best tool for the job. And this was pretty much the standard for the first few years. That was until a man by the name of Jim Shampine came along. So he designed his cars like wedges, generated a ton of downforce, and, well, that wasn't enough. See, in oval racing, it is advantageous to have as much weight as you possibly can on the left side of the car. This helps the cars carry a lot more speed through the corners. So he literally hung the engine as far left as he possibly could, and, well, his cars dominated. Now, on the face of it, these cars still look incredibly simple, but you gotta remember, this was the 60s, and like most other forms of motorsport, as time went along, these cars, well, they got more and more advanced. The engines, they got more powerful. The aero, yeah, these guys may look like they, well, built these cars in a barn, however, they knew what they were doing. So the aero kept getting bigger and better and better, and then someone looked at a sprint car and said, hey, that massive wing would look great on my car. Someone agreed with them, so they put it on there. But again, that wasn't enough. And all of this aerodynamic tomfoolery is where the kind of Formula One side of the equation comes into play. See, this wing is not just there to generate a metric ass ton of downforce, it's actually got a DRS or drag reduction system on it. So on the straights, it lays flat. As soon as the guy hits the brakes, it acts like a giant air brake and gives him downforce for the corners. So these things look like a combination of an Indy car, a Formula One car, a sprint car, a NASCAR, and even a Formula One car. And the upshot is that these are basically some of the fastest, if not the fastest machines to race on America's short tracks.